I can explain. Let's start with a small, easy question first. Why did you abandon us forever? Not forever, Sai. I'm here, aren't I? Simple as possible, I'm one to simply hop to and fro from one passion to another. And that's that. Moving swiftly forward, having again successfully dodged the question, I'll make videos just like old times. In fact, let's show off some cards I've already shown off before. You hate your old videos that much? Can't say I blame you. Not that I've seen them. I'm keeping it simply stupidly simple, stupid. Just a classic primo Rougen video. Showing off cards, quipping japes, not having an outro, the works! The first card I ever made was Stock Knight. This sword and board silly Billy kind of established the stats of literally every other card in the game. Though to be sure, I've always picked stats primarily off of intuition. So, what did you do? I don't know, I'm bad with computers. Who ones and zeros to my card? You did. A little while before the recording. Oh, I know that, Sai. I'm just trying to have a little pizzazz. Richie, just talk about what you did to the card. And stop adopting phrases made before World War II. Why did you turn Rougen into a simplified corporate logo? This is more complex than the original design as a point of interest, but I get what you mean. I'm personally convinced by the design and specifically the unique brutalist template I've got going on here, but if you're not, let me try and convince you. My biggest argument for changing the template to being what it is conveying information. It may look like it contains the same card as literally every other substantiation of Stock Knight, but missing before, conveyed now are these slick little bits down here in the card border. This small insignia represents the set, this out of 60 represents which of the 60 cards per this set it was, plus I've got this space here for crediting an artist should I choose to accept one, or even to credit a creator of an effect plus an artist. They can be two different people, which I think is wicked wondrous. Also, you no longer need to read the hieroglyphics that are my handwriting. For some cards it was fine, I suppose, but you may notice that some of the more wallier cards are akin to the Rosetta Stone. If I didn't say them out loud, you'd probs have no idea what they say. And that's to be expected when a hobbyist writes in Sharpie on A4 paper with azure markers. While smudginess isn't the end of the world in art, it's harsh to the effect and it always has been. Not to mention, I get to go back and rewrite everything with the nomenclature I made later on. Things like free play and on the side of the field need to be added to a lot of the first cards I ever made. It's more art per art, because I organized this card such that everything is stacked in a totem pole fashion and the attack and defense are still to the side. You can see the tippy top and much lower of the card's art. This is an upgrade to those who are blind enough to like my art style. Chances are I'm gonna later create paper art and then put them into digital templates. This is extra good because once I convert the image to an acceptable file size, I can also do some digital coloring, hue shifting, or sharpening. Liquefy the faces until they look like an analog horror jump scare, you coward. Or that. Not that I know what any of those words mean in tandem. Why pips? I noticed something funky. Every single creature in the game is seen by one player upside down. Just definitionally. The way the board is set up, it's impossible for a card to be oriented in a way that the attack and defense could be easily legible for both players. Granted, later on people will inevitably simply remember the creature from a different game, but that's not the kind of player this quality of life change even matters to. I'm looking at the gameplay experience from an unbiased perspective. It's a mega nifty and nice thing to do for a player just picking up your game to not only offer pips to count so you don't have to flip the card upside down to check its stats, but also putting an icon beside the attack and defense that signifies which is which. I empathize with those who love the simplicity of the previous version, but I'm helping the lowest common denominator. Nothing is being taken away from you, these changes are purely cosmetic from a functional perspective. Another cosmetic change that may be controversial, I didn't quite vibe with the whole common, rare, legendary classification anymore. It feels well-trodden, and dare I say standard, which is the worst form of invective anyone could ever give me in one of my games. I value fun over literally anything, except for maybe a child, God willing, later in life. Till then, though, I would like to just supplant common with the name bronze class, then I replaced rare with silver, and finally legendary with the illustrious gold class. I've mentioned before that this is the way older versions of Rougen have worked, and truth be told, I've always been convinced by it deep down. Maybe you'd prefer it in song? I don't sing. Then rap! I know you have rhythm. I've heard you hum to ancient cultic chanting before. You care about my interests? Jeez Louise, that almost makes me want to smile. Fine, I'll do the stupid thing. Hit the deck and dead draw, scrape your face on the board, might take your field out, cause I'm here to take your life. Points! Like the king of games, winners in my DNA, get decked out and mopped up, that's a board wipe. Sai? Yo. Sick flow, but let me touch base, you haven't really mentioned anything about my template. Yeah? Yeah, so let's just try this all again. Great, now I have to rap about a stupid game I don't play.
The rarities have changed to be arranged from bronze to gold. This change isn't a change because this system's pretty old.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty pointless to have classes play a role inside a game that's played with cards the Richies never even sold.
Okay, each card's enumerated up to 60 and it's set with a glyph for both the Evergreen and Desperado West.
Yeah, well, it's small and inoffensive, but it's useless here at best, since each card's already public, so why would you ever check?
Because it credits every artist and effect creator to here at the bottom to commemorate the awesome work they do.
The cards already made were made by Richie in his room. If you really think about it, it's a narcissistic move.
But now we never have to read all my old handwriting again, rewriting older wording with some wording that makes sense.
If Richie had his way, he'd probably make it more complex. I'd be a walking nerd emojis writing all of these effects. I've always wanted to sing in auto-tune.
Ooh.
You said sing, not howl.